How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through and ranking the 6 current generations of the Mustang from number 6 all the way to number 1. Also, this video is entirely opinionated, so take it with a grain of salt, and also let me know down in the comments below how I messed up or what generation you might rank differently than how I have it done today. But before we get into it, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below. And if you are already subscribed, definitely be sure to click the little bell icon down below. It really does help me out a lot, and as a smaller YouTuber, I really do appreciate all the support. But without wasting any more time and getting right into it, at number 6 we have the 2nd generation of the Mustang, or the Mustang 2. Now, with these lower ranking generations on this list, I don't think that I dislike them in any regards. It's just that the Mustang 2, I mean, what else could you say about it? It had the impossible task of being the sequel to the really revolutionary 1st generation of the Mustang, and it also had to deal with a major oil crisis and gas crisis at the time. A lot of people really hate the Mustang 2. I don't believe it deserves the amount of hate that it truly gets. However, when stacked up against the other generations of this Ford Mustang, it really just doesn't compete that well. And now moving on to 5th place, this one is definitely going to raise some eyebrows, and I feel like it could potentially be a little bit controversial, but I have the 4th generation, or the SN95. Now, yes, in the latter half of this generation, we did get the New Edge facelift, which I think, you know, was really like a fantastic car. I had the opportunity to review a Terminator Cobra on the channel, and that is probably one of the best, if not the best, SVT vehicles that Ford ever produced. However, with that being said, with the just overall curvy and kind of cookie cutter and basic design of the 4th generation of the Mustang, it really didn't stand out too well when compared to the 4th gen Camaro or the 1990s Firebird of that time. And I mean, the 90s weren't really that good of a year for domestic vehicle design to begin with. And in addition to that, with the GTs moving away from the 5.0 found in the Fox bodies and going to a lower displacement with the 4.6 liter 2-valve engine, the power that they made wasn't too impressive, and the V6s were even worse. So didn't really offer too much. Still a cool little car, and especially in today's market where everything's inflated, you could still probably find a clean one in the used car market for not that much, and they could make for a great little project car. Now, for number 4, I have the 3rd generation of the Mustang. This Fox body generation honestly just didn't really look like a Mustang. Now, with that being said, they still had a lot of really cool trims in this generation, and in their heyday, they were probably the most popular and iconic car of the 1980s and even the early years of the 1990s. If you saw one of these on the street with drag slicks and a big exhaust coming out of it, you probably didn't mess with it. A lot of people really souped up these 5.0 engines that were found in the GTs, and even the lower trims, the 4 cylinders and stuff, the turbos found in them, they were really good Mustangs for their time, and Ford definitely needed something at least to just bring the Mustang back from that 2nd generation, the Mustang 2. However, again, the overall design, they don't really look like a Mustang that much, and when compared to all the generations in a nutshell, they kind of fall right in the middle of the pack. That's why I got them ranked here. So now moving on to number 3, we have the 6th generation of the Mustang. Now, the 6th gen basically ran from the model years of 2015 up until 2023, where actually today, this is why I'm kind of putting this video out too, because let's be honest, Mustang is trending right now. But today, later on today, Ford is going to reveal the 7th gen of the Mustang in the Stampede video at the Detroit Auto Show. But the 6th gen, it wasn't bad. It was the 1st generation that a factory Mustang actually saw an independent rear suspension, which some people didn't like, but some people obviously thought was very necessary. But the 6th gen, again, it's kind of like the 3rd gen. It falls right in the middle of the pack, at least for me, because they basically took the winning formula that they found in the 5th generation of the Mustang with the S197, and they just kind of recycled it. They made the Mustang still look like a Mustang from the 1960s, and they went ahead and made it 2 more renditions of the 5.0 Coyote engine. They brought back the GT350, and then in 2020 they brought back the GT500. So I do have to give huge props for Ford for bringing back especially that GT350 that was lost since the 1960s. However, with the sales numbers and especially like the limited trims nowadays for them, I just have to still kind of like rank them in the middle of the pack. They don't beat out my top 2. Also, the introduction of the Mustang Mach-E, again, I love to rip on it because it's just not a Mustang in my eyes. But I guess you could kind of group that into the 6th generation as well. Again, I don't know, like it's kind of its own thing out there in left field. But now moving into number 2, I actually have the 5th generation of the Mustang. Now, again, if you have been subscribed to my channel, you know that like last week or something, I literally just made a video talking about how the S197 is the best Mustang generation in my opinion. However, there's just no beating out that 1st gen, which obviously you guys probably know is going to be number 1 by now. But with that being said, the 5th generation of the Mustang was essentially when lightning struck twice. In 2005, when the S197 was initially revealed, it didn't have an incredibly impressive powertrain, except it had one thing going for it, and honestly, it's very much responsible in my eyes for the resurgence of the modern muscle car, with Dodge bringing back the Chargers and Challengers, Chevy bringing back the Camaros, and etc, etc. But when this S197 was initially revealed, everyone went absolutely crazy. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old at the time because I was born in 2000. But I still remember seeing so many commercials about it and so many people talking about it on the news and everything. And there's a picture of me somewhere at the 2005, I think, New York Auto Show, sitting in the driver's seat of a brand new Mustang at the time. And this is kind of when Ford as a company kind of got the whole country, not just car enthusiasts, excited for a Mustang. That is something that was kind of lost, I think, in the 4th and 3rd generation a little bit. But with Ford selling over 160,000 units in the first year of production in 2005, and then in 2006 beating that out and selling over 166,000 units, and with the combination of bringing back the GT500, later on the Boss 302 in I think 2013, and then the like over 140 something different special editions that we've seen from 2005 up to 2014, I think it's definitely safe to say that the 5th generation definitely deserves to be up there in anybody's top 3 when they kind of rank out the generations of the Ford Mustang. Now, moving on to the 1st and final generation that we're going to be talking about today, it's got to be the 1st gen. When initially the Ford Mustang was introduced at the World's Fair in 1964 in Flushing Meadows, not just America, but the entire world was like taken by storm because the Mustang was essentially a trailblazer for an entire new genre of cars. It wasn't a muscle car, and it wasn't really a sports car. It was a pony car. This was something that no one really saw before, and in order to compete with this new genre of cars, Chevy went ahead and made the Camaro, Pontiac went ahead and made the Firebird. Like, there's so many cars that can be kind of traced back to the origins of the Ford Mustang. Now, yes, obviously I'm biased as a Mustang owner myself. However, there's just no denying that the 1st generation is simply the absolute best generation for the Ford Mustang. We saw Carroll Shelby get involved, the original GT350s, the 350R, the Boss 302s, the Boss 427s, eventually the Boss 429s. There's just so many things that can be traced back to the 1st gen. Even the iconic scene back in the 60s when Bullitt came out with Steve McQueen chasing that Charger through the streets of San Francisco with that 1967 Mustang, I think. But yeah, how can you go wrong by saying that the 1st generation of the Mustang is the best? If you don't believe me, just look at the sales numbers, because Ford managed to literally sell over 500,000 units in the very first year of production of the Ford Mustang. And that was back in the mid 1960s. If something like that happened today, it would be really crazy. However, again, that was back in the 1960s. So imagine how insane it was that Ford was able to literally introduce a car have it available on dealership lots, and be selling it out the door on the very exact same day in April of 1964. Like, that's just completely unheard of. But again, that's pretty much all I have to say today for the different generations of the Ford Mustang. Later on, I am going to be filming my live reaction video to this new Stampede event that's going to be unveiling the 7th generation of the Mustang. So definitely be sure to, again, subscribe if you want to see that. That'll probably be up on the channel tomorrow. And also, again, let me know down in the comments below if you agree with my rankings or if you would kind of switch things up. I'll edit in a full list of where I have everything right now. But yeah, like always, guys, thank you so much for all the ongoing support. It really does mean a lot. Definitely be sure to, again, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do. But like always, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed today's video, click on either of these links right here to watch a similar video from this channel, or click on the little circle link right there to actually subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. I do appreciate all the support, but thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.